Homeless count is in, and LA leaders say the numbers here are tragic. The homeless population in the county is up 13% from last year, as the city of LA saw a 14% jump. NBC4's Cádiz Klemack has been covering Southern California's streets of shame and exposes where the mistakes have been made.
The homeless count may represent a single moment in time for the population on LA's streets of shame, but the increase year to year has many questioning why it keeps rising.
No surprise at all, but we are challenged anew.
LA County Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, who also co-chairs the governor's statewide homeless task force, admits government leaders made a mistake.
We thought it should be single focused on affordable housing. That, in my judgment, was a mistake. We have to do both.
Ridley Thomas says cost estimates were way off for permanent housing and that more temporary shelters are needed to get people off the street and transition into something more permanent.
We need to have shelters. Why? Because they can be built more cheaply, they can be built more quickly, and what we need is to get people off of the street.
Outside LA City Hall, the fight is for rent stabilization and using taxpayer funds to instead work with buildings already built.
So that could be adaptive reuse. That's where you rehab existing structures. That could be converting motels.
Using hotels has been key to the state's Project Room Key during the COVID-19 outbreak, but at some point those rooms will be released.
What happens when those hotels say they want their rooms back? Are we going to see an influx of people back on the street?
Our goal is that nobody who is in room key right now goes back to the street.
Heidi Marston, the new executive director for LAHSA, the LA Housing Authority, which conducts the annual homeless count, says she's worried what the pandemic will do to future homeless numbers.
We're already seeing high numbers of people falling in, and so we need to really ramp up our safety nets to make sure that we can keep folks housed coming out of COVID-19.
The biggest increase in homeless numbers comes from seniors experiencing homelessness, also a double-digit increase in families. But a silver lining LAHSA is highlighting is that the majority of those who do get off the street stay off the street.
Almost 90% haven't. They've stayed housed, and so that is true. We're not seeing people fall back in.
In downtown LA, Cádiz Klemack, NBC4 News.
And NBC4 is committed to covering the homeless crisis with our Streets of Shame series. So if you have a story idea, we'd love to hear about it. Just send an email to tips@nbcla.com.